Hello there everyone, and we thank you for joining us. Today's Saturday, October 27th, 2012. And a lot's going on with Hurricane Sandy right now. Governor Malloy just declared a state of an emergency for Connecticut ahead of Hurricane Sandy's arrival. And Hurricane Sandy has just regained a little bit of strength. So we're going to talk all about that in a minute. But first thing I want to mention, something I forgot to mention yesterday when we were talking about getting prepared for Hurricane Sandy. Something else that's very important that you do is make sure you top off the gas tanks in all of your cars. So all the cars that you own, whether you own 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, top off all the gas tanks in all of your cars. That way, if the power's out for several days, you'll be all set for gas in all your cars. So make sure that's very important. Make sure you do that as well. Okay, Governor Dannel Malloy has declared an emergency ahead of Hurricane Sandy, which is expected to impact Connecticut on Monday. Malloy informed Secretary of State Denise Merrill of his decision to declare an emergency at 10:45 a.m. This morning. So that was a couple hours ago. It's 12:43 p.m. right now, actually, so that was just about 2 hours ago he declared that. Due to severe weather conditions predicted to affect the state, specifically the National Weather Service insurance of forecasts indicating that all or part of Connecticut will be directly affected by a combined tropical and winter superstorm, including torrential rainfall, strong winds, and potential coastal and inland flooding over a prolonged period of time. I am hereby proclaiming a state of civil preparedness emergency, pursuant to Connecticut General Statute Section 28-9, Malloy said in a letter to Merrill. The declaration of emergency provides Malloy with a number of emergency powers, including the ability to modify or suspend the state statute, regulation, or requirement, for example, altering work hours, waiving licensing requirements, etc. The ability to order civil preparedness forces into action, the ability to designate vehicle and person, route, and movements. The forecast path of Hurricane Sandy has convinced me that the signing of this declaration is necessary and will help us react more quickly and effectively in the event of a serious weather event, Malloy said. The storm needs to be taken seriously, and just as the state is taking precautionary actions, I encourage the public and all of the state's utility companies to do the same. Malloy said that the state is more ready for Hurricane Sandy than it was last year when Tropical Storm Irene and Winter Storm Alfred crippled the state for days. So hopefully they really are a lot more prepared now, it seems like, for this storm. So we'll see what happens. Okay, and now Hurricane Sandy has regained a little bit of strength. Sandy regained wind speeds of 75 miles an hour today, moving it back to hurricane status as it continued on its track toward the east coast. The National Weather Service 5-day forecast for the storm placed landfall somewhere between the Virginia and Connecticut coastlines late Monday or early Tuesday. But WECT reported areas like Carolina Beach, North Carolina, have already experienced flooding from rains on the edge of the massive system. Sandy has been moving north-northeast at about 10 miles an hour from its position in the Atlantic, east of Florida. It is predicted to move parallel to the southeast coast through the weekend, according to the National Weather Service. An increase in speed is expected Sunday, and a turn into the north is expected by Sunday night. CNN weather estimated wind damage, not including flooding from Sandy, to reach $3.2 billion. Hurricane force winds have extended outward as far as 100 miles from the storm's eye. The National Weather Service reported wind gusts as high as 74 miles an hour recorded east of Cape Canaveral, Florida. At least portions of 5 states, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, and Virginia, and Washington declared states of emergency on Friday. So some states declared states of emergency yesterday and Friday. Like I just said just over 2 hours ago, Governor Malloy declared a state of emergency for Connecticut as well. FEMA released information on its website letting people in the target areas know they should prepare for the worst. It's clear the impacts of the storm will be felt across a wide area, FEMA spokesperson Lars Anderson stated. These impacts could include heavy rains and snowfall, flooding, high winds, storm surge, and power outages. Forecasters are calling for a significant rainfall, which may result in flooding in some areas. We recommend you check the items in your family emergency kit and make sure you have the supplies that can sustain you and your family for at least 72 hours, which is 3 days. Its combination with a pair of winter storms could intensify Sandy as it hits land, creating conditions similar to the 1991 perfect storm that hit the Northeast. Some weather forecasters call the potentially devastating mix of the hurricane and the weather coming from the Midwest a Frankenstorm. At 11 a.m. Eastern Time, the National Weather Service announced tropical storm warnings are in effect from South Santee River, South Carolina to Duck, North Carolina, as well as Palmalegsio and Albemarle Sound in North Carolina. So talked yesterday about the difference between tropical storm watch, tropical storm warning, hurricane watch, hurricane warning. Not going to go over it again, but tropical storm warning is in effect for those areas now as of 11 a.m. Eastern Time from the National Weather Service. Not anywhere in Connecticut as of yet. Tropical storm warnings for Florida have been canceled. Tropical storm watches are in effect for areas along the South Carolina coastline from Savannah River to South Santee River. High storm and high wind watches have also been placed on areas north of the tropical storm warning areas. Hurricane Sandy already lashed the central Bahamas with violent winds and torrential rains after ranging through the Caribbean, where it caused at least 43 deaths. Both private and federal meteorologists call it a storm that would likely go down in the history books. We don't have many modern precedents for what the models are suggesting, NOAA forecaster Jim Seco told the Associated Press. Sandy is the 18th named tropical storm or hurricane of the 2012 Atlantic hurricane season, and Tropical Storm Tony, spinning harmlessly in the Atlantic, makes 19. An average season sees about 12 named storms and hurricanes, so we're well over the normal average of named storms and hurricanes this particular hurricane season. So that is really your update for Hurricane Sandy right now. That's what's going on right now. Just really, this is the time right now to be getting prepared. If you didn't watch our video yesterday, watch our video from yesterday where we talk about what you should be getting to get prepared. So you should really be gathering all those things today. Today's the day to do that. Today's the day to fill up all the gas tanks in your cars and fill up all your gas cans if you have a generator. And that's it for now. We'll do another update video in a few hours as more information kind of continues to get updated and some information continues to change. So we'll do another video in a couple hours. We'll see you then.